We should be live. Guys, I just started the actual broadcasting a few minutes earlier just to make sure that it works. Please let me know if you can actually see this. I see there's Valerie here, so I have to try to...
Good morning. Hi, Daniela. Yeah.
Hey, guys, how are you? Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you and see you. You're good. How are you?
I cannot see you yet, and I would actually like to see you.
What'd you say?
I can't see you yet.
Oh. Hi.
Now it works. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Working.
Yeah.
PJ, how are you, PJ? Good morning. Good morning to all of you guys. Today we're gonna go deep into PPC because we've been seeing a lot of questions in the Facebook group, the advanced and the regular one, about PPC because now people is more in members are more into the journey, and so they launch products, and now they need to actually rank these products and make sales. And so we said, hey, we need to go, do like a couple of these meetings, and we need to go very deep on PPC. And so that's why we're here today, guys, to help you. Of course, we do have our PPC service, and my team and I can actually help you in depth with one-on-one coaches on your own store and your own products. But we want to do this live, open to everybody, trying to answer as many questions as possible and give you the opportunity to actually improve your sales in stores just by staying here with us today, and most likely also next week. As you can see, Seth is not here today because he's celebrating his wife's birthday, Kimberly. So happy birthday, Kimberly. And as a man, just take your day off, have a good time with family. You deserve it. Last night at 3 o'clock in the morning, we were still, talking about the today's webinar. So happy birthday, Kimberly. We're just going to wait a couple more minutes just to see if we have more people. And if anybody else wants to join us live, guys, please feel free to do it. I see PJ in the chat. Let me see. We have 5 viewers right now. Yeah, let's wait a few more minutes, guys, so we can actually have more people. Just let me tell you how it's gonna be, okay? So the main goal for today is to really understand what PPC is for. What's the main purpose for PPC, okay? And we are mostly going to focus on the product launch stage, okay? Because it's maybe one of the most delicate ones, and we need to talk about it, okay? The goal is to really leverage this tool and PPC for making more sales. And then we're going to, hey, Jackson, how are you doing, brother?
Good, man. And you?
Good to see you, brother. Always good memories of you.
Yeah, likewise.
And then the second thing is that we're going to see how to launch products by using PPC. So, and after that, I'm just going to answer all your questions, guys. So feel free to jump in, ask questions, and I want to help as much as I can today. I would say let's start. I was still waiting for more people, but actually it's 11:02, so we can actually start. So, guys, hey, Abeli, how are you? Good to see you. So, guys, the main goal of PPC. Actually, I want to ask you a question. What do you think is the main goal for PPC? And please feel free to come on live and give me your answer or chat it.
I guess I would say that you want to increase sales, but also not increase your cost of sales. That would be the ideal, right?
Yeah, that would definitely be a very good situation, 100%. That's good. That's very good. I would also like to add that, when you're launching a product, okay, the main goal of PPC is to Amazon to make money. Yeah, that's true.
I would say exposure.
Yeah, exposure. That's a great one. And tell me what exposure brings to.
Well, exposure, like Jackson said, leads to sales. Well, exposure leads to people visiting your listing and then hopefully converting into sales.
Awesome. So I love that word converting. And so, yeah, Amazon to make money, to get sales velocity, to start ranking for the keywords. That's exactly what it is, guys. So when you are launching a product, your only focus, your only angle in the launch stage should be ranking for keywords. That's the most important thing, okay? Yes, it's important to find more keywords. It's important to, look at the ACOS, but not at the beginning. At the beginning, the main goal is to rank for keywords. Why? Because only by ranking for keywords as fast as possible will actually bring your listing all the way to the top, spots on the search pages, and will allow you to finally make organic sales. And so many times, we see people getting confused about this. They start a PPC campaign. After 3 days, 5 days, a week, 10 days, they're like freaking out because the ACOS it's like over 100%. And like, man, this is not working. I don't know what to do. This is not working. And at the beginning, guys, it's so normal in the first week, 10 days, 2 weeks to have like an awful ACOS for many reasons. Like I would say the first one could be, imagine like you are a new seller, right? A new listing, you're on the market, and then all of a sudden, a bunch of competitors start clicking on your listing because they don't know you. They just want to see what's up, what's going on, who's this guy? Let me see how good is their listing. But they're not gonna buy from you. How do you think your ACOS will look like after 10 days? Really bad, okay? Like really, really bad. And so I would say like this is mainly the first biggest reason why the ACOS is not good at the beginning. So it's important to understand these and hang tight and have the angle in mind that PPC is for ranking keywords. Of course, it's also important, your sale price, because if you're selling at $15, you'll be much harder to get a good, decent ACOS. Just to repeat, guys, in case somebody doesn't know that, the ACOS is the average cost of sales, and it can be profitable. Your PPC your keywords can be profitable. You can be breaking even. You can be losing money. How do you realize that? You realize that by knowing, first of all, your numbers. So when you launch a product, and again, so many times I met with members that they didn't know their numbers, but you need to know your numbers. So how much is your product costing you? Shipping, Amazon FBA fees. What's your net profit margin? How much is left for you? That percentage is your net profit margin. That's your maximum ACOS. Meaning, if your keywords or your overall campaign has an ACOS which is lower than that percentage, you're actually making money and being profitable with that PPC campaign. Because let's say your net profit margin is 46%. Okay, if you have an ACOS of 35%, well, you're actually being profitable at that point. Until 46%, you're breaking even. And after that, you're actually losing money on the PPC campaign. So again, guys, it's important to know your numbers. Now, one thing I want to focus with you today, guys, as I mentioned before, is since we're talking about launching products and ranking for keywords, how do we actually do that, right? So how do I use PPC to rank for keywords? There are many strategies out there, okay? And we're also going to update the course towards this direction. But we believe that the most important thing when you launch a product is to, as we mentioned before, getting visibility, and PPC can give you that since day one. So the first thing you guys do when you are about to launch a new product, of course, get a few reviews. We'll always say at least like 5, 10. But the most important thing, guys, is before you start everything else, is your product listing and how well is differentiated. You can do any PPC you want. You can be #1 spot on any page for any given keyword. But if people don't like your product, you're just going to waste money and time because they won't buy it. So sometimes people put too much hopes in PPC because they expect to make sales with that, but then they don't make sales even if they get visibility because the product is not good or is not well differentiated. So I really want to highlight how important it is to really make sure that you are one of the best products on the market before you launch. And how you do that? Simply, guys, when you start your product, look at the top 5, 10 competitors, right? And understand why people is actually buying from them. Like, what's so special about these guys? Is that the main picture? Is that the price? Is that reviews? Is that they have a different product? Is that they have a different bundle, a different differentiation, like a specific type of differentiation? And once you understand that, you move, you create your listing according to that to those sellers. actually you can study your market before and then take advantage of that and go to the market like a one of a kind. So once you have your listing optimized, okay, and you know that you did such a great job and the listing looks stellar, you can actually go ahead and sell. Now we turn on the PPC campaign, okay? And what do you think we should do on day one for ranking for keywords as fast as possible, okay? And start making sales from day one. Yes, they will you. Some of my experiences, I launched products recently. It's actually like 2 or 3 months ago, and I had like 1 unverified reviews that David left me, and at day number 3, I managed to make 43 sales in one day for this specific product. That was so very well differentiated. This is not to brag on my sales, but just to tell you guys that keywords are, reviews are important, okay? But the most important thing at the end of the day, it's always the product, okay? This Diamond member, okay? He launched the product like a couple of weeks ago. At day number 3, number 4, he was selling about 25, 35 units per day. So like he was like 15, then 20, 25, and 30, 30, 30, 35. And it was like after a week, he had 3 unverified reviews and he was making that many sales. Why? Because he was actually visible for the best keywords on page 1, at the top of page 1. You guys know you can decide we want to show when you were your listing to show in what position depending on how much you bid for your keywords. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing, Lino?
Good to see you, man. Good, very good.
All right.
And so you can decide what you want your listing to show, like what position you want to occupy by bidding on keywords. And so this is doable, guys. Maria Roman, we actually launched her product like on Tuesday, okay? And yesterday she was making like 7, 8 sales yesterday after 2.5 days, okay? So all of these members, they have great products, okay? And now they leverage the PPC tool and visibility to make sales. But now let's actually jump right into it and see how we make this happen. So the first thing, guys, is keywords. You got to know your keywords, okay? How do you know your keywords? We talk about this many times. First of all, guys, when you're doing product research, you will know your keywords because you know what people is looking for, what people is searching for. And Saad, for example, mentioned this hack a couple of weeks ago. If you only take, for example, the first 10, 15 titles on page 1 or the best sellers, basically, and you put all those titles in a word count and see which one of the words actually show up the most and are used the most, those will most likely be the best keywords. Beside that, we have Google like merchant words. We have tools like Keyword Tool Dominator that you can find keywords like before you actually launch a product. So you want to divide these keywords in 3 different lists, okay? And this is important because I'll tell you in a second. So these 3 lists are high relevant keywords, relevant keywords, and less relevant keywords. The high relevant keywords are the one that highly identify your product and are like strictly related to the product you're selling. For example, if I'm selling a very like our famous coffee mug is your main keyword because that's exactly what it is, right? Other relevant keywords could be ceramic coffee mug or like white coffee mug, and then less relevant keywords could be, for example, coffee machine or coffee grinder or things like that. Still in the coffee category, but they don't really identify your product. So we're going to use the first 2 lists, high relevant keywords and relevant keywords, for the PPC campaign, because those are the ones that are going to make you sales. Okay, and then we're going to use the PPC campaign and the manual campaign to actually create a automatic campaign and find you more keywords. But let's go step by step. So first thing, now you have your keywords. And again, it's that simple. Just get the best titles, get the best keywords. Usually the best keywords are at the very beginning of the title. So it's very simple for you to actually understand what those keywords are. and start a manual campaign. Yes, manual campaign since day one, because you want to rank as fast as possible. You don't want to wait 2 or 3 weeks, finding more keywords where you actually have your keywords already because you know what they are. So you start a manual campaign from day one, and you put in the manual campaign all these best keywords, like the ones from the #1 list, the high relevant keywords, right? And we're going to focus mainly on these keywords and do the bid adjustments and choosing the match type for these keywords. And actually, let's talk about this now because this is important, guys. So yeah, just want, because I have a list of things here. Just one more thing to add, guys. You can start with your top 10, 15, 20 keywords, which usually are the ones that will make you the most money. Okay, like the inner circle of keywords, and then they're like longer tail keywords, like the outer circle of keywords that will make you a few sales, but you always make your money and be successful with the inner circle of keywords, so the high relevant ones. So once you put these keywords into the manual campaign, now you need to select what type of what match type you want and how much you want to bid for these keywords. Let's focus first of all on the match type, okay? Which can be broad, can be phrase, or can be exact match. There are, again, several ideas about this, but the most, one of the most effective ones, guys, is to treat each one of these keywords with a different match type based on the relevancy of this keyword to your product and how long the keyword is. Let me explain you better what I'm talking about right now. Usually, guys, the longer the keyword, the broader the match type. The shorter the keyword, the more exact is the match type. But why? Think about a long tail keyword, okay? You have, let's say, a 4 or 5 word keyword. That's already a very specific keyword, right? To the product you're selling. Coffee mug, ceramic, white, 8 ounces. Like super specific to your product. Has less traffic, of course, because less people will be looking for this type of keyword, right? But it's very specific. So in that case, you want to select a broad match type for the keyword because, again, it's already very specific to your product. And plus, if you would be selecting, for example, a exact match for a very long tail keyword, what would happen is that your sponsor ad for that keyword, it won't be showing up, it won't be working because, for example, imagine when people do misspellings. If you have a misspelling like one letter with an exact match, that long tail keyword, it won't work. Like it won't show up when that person searches for that keyword. And so you will be like blocking your keyword from working properly and showing up as many times as possible. And so that means that you will be actually missing on many sales, right? Because a lot of people do misspellings. And it's easier to make misspellings on a long tail keyword, like 4 or 5 words, because there are way more chances to do misspellings. And so the longer the keyword, the broader the match. Now, if you have a very short tail keyword, right? A 2 words keyword, 2-3 words keyword, most of the times those are going to be exact match, and for a couple of reasons. First of all is that you want to protect yourself from bidding on unwanted combination of keywords that you might not want to bid for. If I do, for example, a broad match on coffee mug, my list will be showing up for coffee mug. And they, Amazon might show my sponsor ad for keywords that don't relate to my product. And that will end up, for me, spending money on clicks from people that really don't want to buy my product, but I'm actually showing up for those keywords. So you want to protect yourself from this to happen. And so you only want to show your ad when people are exactly searching for that keyword, coffee mug. So again, the shorter the keyword, the more exact becomes the match type, okay? Now, when do we use phrase match? Basically in the middle, anything that is like a phrase is usually like, 2, 3, 4 words, depending. You can select between phrase match, which is the one that I use, the list, But that's the way you want to divide, to select the match type for this keyword, basically. And once you get your PPC, running and getting sales and getting your ACOS, you can always, try this mesh type in different ways. If you see, for example, that one of these keywords is not working properly with the broad match, well, try with phrase match. See if you improve, see what happens, okay? So, but the initial setup has to be like this. Now, how much are you going to be bidding on? You have two different bids that Amazon gives you, right? You have the suggested bid, the lowest bid, and the highest bid, okay? Now, when we're launching a product, we're looking to be a little bit more aggressive at the beginning because we need to rank as fast as possible. And so the faster we rank, the faster we can actually make sales organically, and so we don't spend money on PPC. So when you are launching this campaign and you have those three bids, suggested, lowest bid, and highest bid, it's a good thing to bid anywhere between 30 cents and $1 higher than the highest bid. If the highest bid is like 150, you can bid like 180, 190, $2, $2.10, depending on how relevant is that keyword. I usually like to do numbers in the middle, like 186, 187. So I will actually be outbidding people that is bidding like 185 or like 180. So that's a little trick right there. But you want to be aggressive at the beginning. What's going to happen when you do this? Basically, your listing will be showing up at top of page 1 for all those best keywords since day 1. And you're going to start making sales like right off the bat. Because if your product is good, if your listing is good, pictures are amazing, and you're visible, guys, you make sales. Even if you have like 5, 10 reviews, okay? At the end of the day, you had the Prime badge. That means that people is protected. Like if they buy your product, okay, and they don't like it, what's the worst case scenario? They just return it. So even if you have like 5 reviews, 10, 15, whatever, they're fine. They just call UPS, hey guys, come back. I don't like this product, take it back. That's it. But they are on Amazon to buy a product. And so if you have a good one, good listing and visibility, guys, you're gonna start making sales. Now, going back to what we were saying at the beginning, of course your ACOS won't be the best looking ACOS ever after the first couple of weeks, because again, it's a new listing, a lot of people is clicking on it. Amazon doesn't know you. Actually, at the beginning, in order for you to get those top spots at the very top of page 1, you actually need to bid more on PPC than somebody else, because Amazon doesn't know your listing. That means that what's the end goal for Amazon is to make money, right? And so either they make money through sales or they make money through PPC. So if you want them to give you one of those top spots from day 1 or since the beginning, you will have to spend more on PPC. And you will see the guys, once you start making sales, okay, you can actually lower that PPC spent, and your ad will still be showing up at top of page 1, because now Amazon knows you. They know you're converting, and so you make them money through sales. And so they don't not only need PPC from you and money spent on PPC to actually make money themselves. Okay. Let me know if this makes sense, guys. If it doesn't, please ask in the comments, and we will jump on your questions in a few minutes.
Hello.
Yes, brother.
Go ahead, Luke. Go ahead.
Say it again.
Oh, sorry. Did you let me go? I was just wondering, the last thing you're talking about. So is there any way to kind of be able to examine and figure out when you've reached that point where Amazon would prioritize you a little bit, even if you dropped your bid down, so that you're still kind of the top dog, priority-wise in your PPC campaign? Is that like just kind of a fine dark art, or is that something where there's some stat you can look at to kind of figure it out?
That's a great question, but usually, for experience, I'd say that after 2-4 weeks, you can start seeing that actually. So if you adjust your bid and you lower your bid, your ad will still showing up there. So you won't be losing your spot. and that's actually the time frame that I've seen, with my products. But yeah, it's about 2-4 weeks product. So that's usually how long it takes. And of course, it depends on competition. But I can tell you that if you are visible on page 1 for like consistently every single day, guys, make sales. Yes, maybe you're breaking even, maybe you're making money, maybe you're losing money, but you need to be there consistently. On average, to me, but to many other of our members, it takes about a week, 10 days to be on page 1, half of page 1, which is a great spot to be after a week. And then after that, you're gonna start getting a bunch of organic sales and PPC, and then make even more sales, and then scaling and scaling. But to be on page 1, that's how long it takes. Yeah, brother.
That's just via PPC. That's not even with a launch or anything, huh?
I didn't understand, man. Say it again.
So this is all you're saying, like, eventually you'll get on like within week 2 or 3, like you're likely to get on one if you optimize your listing and you do a good PPC strategy. And this is all without a launch. This is just using PPC. No giveaways or anything.
Brother, the more you sell, the faster you rank. So that's for sure. So you can also accompany your PPC launch strategy with giveaways 100%.
Yeah.
But before doing that, that's actually something very important, guys. You always want to do PPC first. Why? Because you want to. What's going on, brother?
What's up, Craig?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, Craig.
Because you actually want to make sure that people, like potential customers, they like your product. Like, imagine you do a viral launch or whatever software company, you do a product launch, okay? You give away 500 units, for example, without testing the market first. Then, you rank on page 1, top 5, top 3, whatever, and then the campaign stops, and you see that you're not making sales anymore, or like very few sales. And that's maybe because your main picture wasn't that good, or you're not differentiated, or you didn't test your product on the market first. So it's important to do PPC before you do any type of launch, because you need to see how the market responds to your product. When you have visibility and people start buying your product with PPC, sponsored ads, that's amazing. Then you can go ahead and do a viral launch, but don't do the opposite, if you don't know if people actually like your product. So always test with PPC first. If people buy it, and then if they do, boom, do any giveaway. And then yes, you can do both together. So you do a giveaway and a PPC, and guys, it's gonna be way faster to rank. Have I ranked in the past for new products just with PPC? Yes, 100%. Actually, I always mainly rank with PPC. I also do giveaways, but on average, guys, when you do PPC for consistently for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, you will see very good results. I'm talking about ranking your listing pretty soon. So yeah, just to answer your question, but yes, you can do both together.
Danilo, that was awesome. That answered a lot of my questions that I came to the show looking to get answered. But I had one more in that same light, because I'm just about to launch pretty quick here, and this is what I'm trying to figure out, is that transition of like, okay, how do you take on that first month of when you're getting things rolling and step by step. And I was wondering how the skeleton hack works in this whole picture, because in my mind, my product is going to be really well differentiated, really good value proposition. I'm like going all out on the photos to make sure the photos are absolutely the best, better than anybody else's. So part of me would rather just go fully optimized from the get-go, so that when the PPC is live and the product's live, people are just like blown away. But what do you think about that with regards to the skeleton hack? Is the skeleton hack more of like a just put it on there, get a couple reviews, and then, or what's your thoughts on how that works?
Definitely, but you want to do the skeleton hack before launching a PPC campaign and before optimizing and while you're getting reviews. But guys, remember that right now, we cannot get reviews anymore at the beginning.
Yeah,
remember what happened? So that kind of changes the whole vision here, because basically we cannot do that anymore. So in order for you to get reviews, you need to make sales. And the only way to make sales is with PPC or giveaways. Actually, a very good strategy, guys. If you want to get reviews at the beginning, let's say, you know, first of all, why Amazon canceled all those reviews in the month of May and June? Because anything that was percent, actually, let's say 10-15% review ratio. So basically, I make 10 sales and I get 8-10 reviews. They were canceling all those reviews because believing that they were like incentivized reviews, which they were, right? And so to get reviews at the beginning, it's by, for example, doing giveaways. So let's say you give away like 100 units, 150 units, and then you can actually get to PSP or any other way you want. You can actually get 10, 15, 20 reviews, but you need to do some giveaways at the beginning. Okay, so this thing kind of changed a little bit the whole scenario right now, and so I do believe that at this point in time today, it will be maybe more effective launching, you know, very well optimized already, because I can't get reviews anymore at the beginning, you know. And so if I cannot get reviews, there's no reason why I should wait, you know. And so yeah, exactly. I would say go out there.
That's what I was concerned about, exactly, because I was like, if I can't get early reviews without getting a bunch of sales to balance out the ratio, then what's the point of doing the waiting for the optimizing? So that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah,
guys, you know, Amazon is changing every single day, and we need to adapt every single day. So we need to come up with new strategies, new ideas, new ways to getting reviews or making sales. And this is one of the ones.
I had one other quick question for you, if I can. One idea I had to maybe get a review early without having to do the skeleton hack and worry about sales and all that sort of stuff is if I sent one thing of the product to like a friend or family member, somebody that I knew that actually could use the product, take pictures of themselves using it, and do an unverified review with pictures and just say, I got this as a gift for my husband or something like that, and then go full optimized with the PPC campaign. Would that be a viable strategy, or is it possible that review just gets wiped out without even getting live?
Great question. So until today, that's a beautiful strategy. I do this all the times. And actually, when I launch a product, I always get like a handful of unverified reviews just to get a 5-star rating, which is so important. Yeah. The 5 stars. Anywhere between 5 and 10 unverified reviews, at least in the past. Today, we launched products again a couple of weeks ago by getting unverified reviews, like 4 or 5 at the beginning. And those reviews are still there. Everything was good because they're not connected to any type of sale. So Amazon can actually, do any sales review ratio, and so you don't see them.
Danilo, is there any kind of limit to unverified reviews?
No, that I know of. No, there's no limit, and no that I know of. But definitely don't exaggerate with those. Like, you only want to get few unverified reviews at the beginning when you're launching your product to really get that 5-star rating, and that's it. After that, you need to have your email, automatic responder in place, optimized, and try to get reviews also with that. Can this change in the future? Yes, guys, can change. We never know what Amazon can do. I have seen some listings that they actually cannot even receive unverified review. They say, basically, they get a message and say, this listing can only receive verified review. So that's a new one that actually got to experience last week. And so we need, you guys need to double check that. Usually, in the past, something like today still, it's a great way to get unverified reviews and then, get started like that. So definitely works, and it's a very good way to do it.
So I'm going to just drop a few things that I've heard recently that you get to take with a grain of salt or get more deep research.
Hey, sorry to interrupt, man. Quick thing. Hey, Craig, I think you need to mute your side on things. It's got you as the main screen because of the little background noise or something.
Yeah. Got some nice beats going on back there.
Hey, I'm multitasking at the gym, man. I don't want to be fat and rich.
Yeah, the background gym music is just the tiniest little hum of the the pop music.
Casey Goss over at Viral Launch. Is it Casey? Yeah, right. Yeah, he on his podcast lately, he was saying how sales velocity is king, and right off the bat. So if you're new, if your listing is new, the clock is ticking as soon as it's live. So to get as many sales within as little bit of time as possible, because in that little bit of time that you've been live, if you have so many more sales in the time that you've existed, more than other people, that have been around for like weeks or months or years, compared to their time that they've been around, so it's all about concentration. So it's like in the first hour, the first 12 hours, the first day, just blast off as many giveaways as you can, instead of trickling them like a little bit every day, but just do like 100 in a day, do a massive launch, and that'll like really just kickstart you. That was one thing.
I'm so happy you mentioned this, brother, and this is golden, guys, and this is so true. So why this also happens? Because think about, if you have a listing that doesn't make sales for 2 months, that listing is going to still get data from Amazon and gather data and actually tell Amazon that this listing doesn't convert or doesn't make sales because you are not pushing it, right? So they'll actually start getting bad data for your listing. And then when you actually decide to finally launch your listing and to finally make sales, okay, it will be much harder, or it will take more time to actually rank your listing for the exact reason that Lucas just mentioned. It's so true. When it's a new listing, guys, right off the bat, I gotta make sales fast. I gotta rank fast. So make as many sales as possible from day one. PPC, if you want to do giveaways, do giveaways. But you need to be aggressive. The market is there. The product is there. You need to rank and make sales as fast as possible, so that after a month and a half, you can finally lower your PPC spend and just cruise and make sales organically. But that's golden, brother. Thank you so much for mentioning that.
Also, it's like, even if you do that epic launch and you have this great velocity and you're ranked number 3 or 2 or 1, you're gonna get that little bit of love that Amazon gives you for the first few weeks, and you're gonna get it because you blasted a launch, and you're gonna get it because you're PPC. But if you don't get the organics to follow suit over time, then you'll start to drop off. You know what I mean? So yeah, it is like so big to do every aspect: the optimization, PPC, the launch, maybe even another launch a month later if you're feeling like the organics aren't kicking.
Guys, what do you think's the best way to do the giveaways? Because I'm one of the people that did get the warning when I was doing the
PSP.
The PSP. I've gotten 2 warnings this month from Amazon, which are kind of scary. So what do I do to get products more consistent?
Social proof. The launches are different, but I mean, I can just tell you, Danila, you're going to jump in here in a second, please. But I'm just going to tell you what I've been researching is that the launch programs like the Zon launch or whatever, and the Viral Launch, and there's Seller.tools. They have a new one. Those are all just like huge giveaways that aren't geared for reviews at all. They're just geared for sales velocity. And that's slightly different than our social proof thing that we've been doing, that people have been getting their reviews kind of retracted or getting denied. But when you do dig into that, one thing I wanted to also do some research on was that one of the recent discoveries is Seller.tools. And, like I said, take it with a grain of salt. Make sure you figure this out for yourself. But their analysis is that the reason why people were losing like percentage gain of maybe rank juice per giveaway at high discounts, like let's say you were doing like 90% discounts, people were saying like a 90% discount would count about 7 times less than a full price giveaway. So if you do giveaways, where if people buy at full price, they're supposedly ranking you a lot higher. And if you do like 5 to 7 90% discount giveaways, then they have less of an impact over bringing your rating up. It takes about 7 giveaways at 90% is what people would say to bring her, or something like that. That was like the average that people were kind of guesstimating. And it turns out, and this is what they're saying based off of their data and all their PPC customers that they track. They're saying that it doesn't have to do with the amount of discount. It has to do with the type of buyer. So if the Amazon customer who's buying these deep discount products all the time, their weight on Amazon is low. So if you get all these people that are like low quality purchasers that only buy deep discounted products buying your product, it counts towards less. But if you get people that are spending more money and they're rated by Amazon as higher rated buyers, you know, those people are going to get your product to rank more. Now, look into that a little bit and like track them and look at their webinars or whatever. But they're saying that they have a launch that only targets buyers that are of really good standing in Amazon. So, which in turn, no matter how much you discount it to them, every single giveaway counts just as much as a zero discount giveaway. Now, I don't know. So anyways, that's two different answers to, I don't think there was any really of your question, but it's all useful information for you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for this, bro. That was actually very helpful. I actually watched this interview yesterday. And yes, they're also focusing on, you know, the quality of the actual buyer. Guys, I also want to get a few more questions from the chat because we have a lot of members asking questions. So I would start first with DJ Os. This is what I'm lost with. Is this before we send item to FBA and order, or once item is in FBA that we are supposed to run these campaigns? Oh yeah, I see why you're asking this question. So you can use PPC also for finding products, and that's a totally different strategy that has nothing to do with launching your product. Okay, when you have a product, you have to actually rank for it. And I see why you may be a little bit lost because sometimes we do talk about using PPC for finding new niches and finding new products. Just, you know, 2 words about the way it works is that basically you buy a few units of a product, like a potential product, from Walmart or from your Chinese suppliers or whatever, like 20, 25 units, just put on Amazon, don't optimize the listing and run PPC on it and see what the search terms that Amazon is automatically generating for you are. And those search terms can lead you to find new hidden markets and new hidden categories. And then you actually find and search products depending on what people are searching for. So that's the idea behind that, which is different than, you know, launching a product and ranking. And that comes when you actually have already your private label product built. You send it to Amazon FBA, 300 units, 400, 500, 1,000 units, whatever you have, and then you have to rank for the product. Next question, Sue. What is the optimal ACOS? I think we answered this at the beginning. So basically, know your numbers, know what your net profit margin is. If your net profit margin is at 37%, that means that anything below 37%, you're making money with that keyword or with that campaign. At 37%, you're breaking even. Above 37%, you're actually losing money on that keyword or campaign. Another question. I have coworkers who aren't linked to me through any social media group. I will be using them to buy and review the product. I don't have to choose them around 4 reviews. I don't have to chase them around 4 reviews and give them cash. Good or bad idea? It can be a good idea. Just make sure that you don't do just, you know, giveaways at the beginning because the new Amazon changes. And so get sales at the beginning. You either do PPC or some giveaways and then focus on getting reviews. If you only get those 4 reviews, most likely those 4 reviews will be wiped out because they're like 100% ratio on sales and review. So just be careful with that. PJ, can someone review our listing? Pictures, keywords, bullet points, all that before we actually start. And what service would that be? Coaching. Simply that we can do that for you for free. Just join us on Wednesday, like you always do, and give us your AC number. And Sarah, David, and myself will be actually looking at your listing if you need to. We will say the last 10-15 minutes for that. If you can let us know in advance, it would be even better. Like send us a message on Facebook or an email and say, guys, this is the ASIN that I would like you to look at, and then we will do that for you on Wednesday night. Okay. Guys, I only want to add one more point to what I was telling you at the beginning, because we got to the point where we actually, built the manual campaign. Remember the manual campaign to rank finally for keywords and make sales from day one. Exactly what Lucas was saying. So make sales as fast as possible. But what happens, like let's say 2 weeks after you launch your product? That's when you can actually go back and create an automatic campaign, because now you have your best keywords running, because you know what your best keywords are, the ones that identify the most your product. You're making sales. You are lowering your ACOS, and now you know what? You want to find even more keywords that you might have not think of at the beginning, but now you want to use them. You remember those like outer circle keywords that 20% can give you a few more sales? So what you do is that you create a automatic campaign, okay, and you put your best keywords from the manual campaign as a negative exact match into the new automatic campaign, and that will force the automatic campaign, the algorithm or the automatic campaign, to find those hidden keywords for you that then you can take and move them into the manual campaign and do what? Decide the type match, right? Exact, phrase, or broad, the way we explained at the beginning, and then adjusting the bid. How you're going to handle the automatic campaign from there moving forward is that you're going to use them automatic campaign to make money off of those AC numbers, because Amazon automatically shows your sponsor ad under somebody else's listing, like competitor's listing, and you have no control over that, but you can just get data. And so all the AC numbers that have like a bad ACOS you're losing money on, just put them as a negative exact match as well. And all the good ACOS that are actually making you money, keep bidding on them. Actually raise your automatic campaign bid, the general one, so you can actually show up more times and more often under those competitors' listings and make even more sales from those AC numbers. Please let me know if this makes sense, guys. This is very important.
Yep. It's clear to me.
Okay.
Danilo, I'm confused. I didn't know that you could add keywords to the automatic campaign, so I got a little lost in there.
I got you right here. The only thing you cannot add keywords. The only thing you can do is you can add negative keywords. That's the only thing you can do. And you can choose between negative phrase match and negative exact match. That's it. That's all you can do in an automatic campaign. And we always suggest using negative exact match, because you only want to inhibit your automatic campaign to show your listing for that very specific combination of words, that very specific keyword. So only use negative exact match into the automatic campaign.
I don't know that I understood that whole concept that you just explained. I'm sorry. I don't know.
No problem.
To repeat it again.
Absolutely.
I got lost. I'm sorry.
I got you. No problem. So we created the manual campaign. Now we're making sales, right? We're ranking for keywords. Things are looking good. We are actually lowering your ACOS. Now we're like 2 or 3 weeks after we launch our product. At this point, our goal is to actually find even more keywords that we might haven't think of at the beginning. Okay? How we find more keywords that we didn't think of? By using an automatic campaign. How do you set up the automatic campaign? You do that by putting as negative exact match your best keywords from the manual campaign. That way, you will force the automatic campaign to find hidden keywords that they didn't think of. Usually, they're like long tail keywords. That's how you set up the automatic campaign, and that happens like 2 or 3 weeks after you launched. Okay, in the past, and again now we are updating the course, following this direction because Amazon always changes. But in the past, we always suggested to start with automatic campaign first to find more keywords. But you know your keywords already, so you don't need to find new keywords. You just need to start making sales and start gathering sales as fast as possible. And then you find some of those hidden keywords that you didn't think of at the beginning, and that can bring you a few more sales. But you don't need to do that at the beginning. That's why we are, again, updating also the course following this direction. Valerie, does it make more sense now?
Yes, where I was adding the manual and going through, but I wasn't doing where I was putting. Am I echoing?
Yeah, you were cutting a little bit.
Because you were touching the keyboard.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so I've had automatic and manual campaigns going for a while, but I wasn't doing the thing where I was taking the best keywords from the manual and making them negative exact in the auto.
Yeah, and that's, you know why that's also not good? Because when you have the same keywords, okay, running for a manual campaign and automatic campaign at the same time, so you have the same keywords in the manual and automatic, they will actually inhibit one of the two campaigns to work properly because they will kind of be fighting each other. Okay, so if you don't set up negative keywords into the automatic campaign, Amazon will show you also for the best keywords they already have into the manual campaign, so they kind of compete against each other. That's why you need to make very clear and say, hey guys, I want to have control over my best keywords with my manual campaign, so I can control each one of them keyword by keyword by adjusting the bid. And then I want to find more keywords and make sales with the AC numbers in the automatic campaign. That's why they cannot compete against each other.
Danilo, sorry, go ahead.
I have had a weird experience where I've done the automatic campaign and I download all my keywords. And then when I take those keywords that are generating stuff, it might be a long tail keyword or something that's just a little off that I wouldn't have thought as a keyword. And then I put it into a manual campaign. Then when I put it into a manual campaign, it does nothing. And I don't understand. I don't get that. I'm like, why? It was doing something in the auto campaign and, generating more than a few sales. You put it in the manual and nothing happens.
Yeah, that could be for a couple of reasons. The main one is maybe the bid amount. Okay, it wasn't enough to allow your listing to show up for that specific keyword, your sponsor ad. So that's usually the main reason. You need to bid more for that specific keyword. The other main reason can be your title and the way it's written. Okay, if you have a specific combination of words in keywords, you also want to make sure that your title is written the exact same way, or that those keywords can be indexed in that exact same order from the Amazon PPC algorithm. So if you have coffee mug, white ceramic 8 ounces, you don't want to build your title with 8 ounces ceramic coffee mug. You want to write your title in the same order that those keywords are. So you get your best keywords, you start from the main one, and then add more secondary keywords to the main one. So whatever is the combination of keywords that customers are tabbing for, Amazon will be actually able to index you for all those combination of keywords. Okay, and that could be another reason why that keyword wasn't working in manual campaign. But again, usually it's a bid amount and then this. Okay, guys. Now, let's see.
I was just going to ask you, when you start your PPC addressing and you're starting to hit it hard, do you? I mean, this is my intended strategy. Let me know what you think about it. So I was going to go for the underdogs and the long tails and the ones that are generating a few sales a week, and just bid those ones and try to conquer the small guys, and work my way up the ladder.
But you can do both ways, okay? Mm-hmm. And there are different strategies, and different strategies can work. But of course, when you start from the long tail keywords, yes, it will be faster to rank for them, but it will also take you way longer to rank for the best keywords.
So you through your sales velocity that way.
Yeah, increase your sales velocity and do what you actually were saying in the beginning. Get as many sales as possible at the beginning. So I'm fine as an entrepreneur to be spending money on advertising when I'm launching my business, because I know that the advertising will bring me organic money, like free money with organic sales after 2-3 weeks or a month.
Yeah, because you're getting impressions, so you're getting eventual, click-throughs and eventual sales. You're stacking more and more. Even if the conversion rate could improve, it doesn't really matter because your exposure is so much more. You're getting more sales.
And you can combine long-tail keywords, of course, and short-tail keywords, and just have you combine both together and have them both running at the same time. So you do both things. That's why you can run so much faster. Yeah.
Right on. Thanks. That was good to hear.
You got it, brother. Let me just look at my notes here. Automatic hunting campaign. We talked about these. We talked about these as well. Let me go back to the questions, guys. Yeah, could you explain? Yes, we talked about these. Actually, I think I jumped this question. Could you explain negative keywords? That's from Sue. Yeah, basically, negative keywords are keywords that, for example, let's say you can set up negative keywords in a manual campaign or automatic campaign, and usually you set up as negative keywords those keywords are actually not working for you. You can put them as a negative keyword, so you won't be bidding and showing up anymore for those keywords, and therefore you will be saving a lot of money. That's what negative keywords are for. And then, yes, right here. Can you go over the ASIN strategy in the automatic campaign again? I think we did it twice. I don't know if you answered these questions before I did it the second time, PJ, or yeah, but I hope that was helpful. We don't have much time now. Guys, before we go, any other question I think I can help you with?
I've got a like yes or no answer question. With regards to the when you start launching, I've had my listing up for like, a month and a half since I created it, but it hasn't had stock and I haven't had any optimization or anything. So do they start judging you based on when you first go in stock or as soon as you create the listing?
That's a good question, but it's hard to say. But until now, you never have any traffic, right? So that didn't hurt you that much, Okay. This happens more when you are actually, playing around and do a little bit of PPC or a little bit of automatic campaign, and you don't want to push hard, and you start getting some traffic, some impressions, but then you show up on page 3 or page 4 or page 5, and nobody clicks on your listing. So you should be fine, man. Even if your listing was created a month and a half ago, you should be okay. Just as soon as you're ready, you have stock. Just go deep, man. Just launch and be aggressive.
Yeah, my PPC budget is going to be pretty huge when the time comes.
It's part of the game, brother. You are here for the long run, and so that once you rank organically, you're gonna make money very soon. So just hang tight. Hang tight at the beginning, and be willing to actually invest in your business, and so you can actually get the profits as soon as possible.
Cool. Thanks.
You're welcome. Guys, I don't know if some of you, I mentioned this at the beginning, but I just want to mention again that, Seth is not here today because he's celebrating his wife's birthday today, Kimberly. So happy birthday, Kimberly. I know when I said that, it was just like 2 people connected. So just so everybody knows.
Happy birthday, Kim. Yeah, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, guys, I want to thank you so much for being here today. We are going to do another PPC webinar next week. Seth will also be here. During this week, if you have any other questions, just save them for the webinar. So next Friday we'll have a lot of topics to go through. But guys, thank you so much for your time. I wish you a great weekend, and keep crushing it.
Thank you, Danilo.
Thanks, Danilo.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.